Oregon sophomore Aaron Wise from California becomes the first player from the host school to win the individual national title since 1979. Wise joins names like Nicklaus, Crenshaw, Mickelson, and Woods to win the top individual prize in college golf. Oregon's Aaron Wise is the national champion.
Golf Central. Brought to you by Titleist.
On his home track here at Eugene Country Club, Aaron Wise becomes the first player in the University of Oregon's history to win an individual NCAA championship, becomes the first player in NCAA golf, men or women, in Oregon history to win a championship. Aaron Wise stands atop of the individual golfing world. And with that, we welcome you back live here to Eugene Country Club. Ryan Burr, along with two-time All-American Aaron Oberholzer, Buddy Alexander, a two-time national champion, head coach at the University of Florida. And you think about coming into this, guys, you had 7 of the top 15 amateurs in the world on the golf course, all vying for an individual national championship. And in the end, it's a sophomore on his home turf with his home crowd that wins it all.
Well, at the beginning of the week, or actually a couple of weeks ago, I thought Aaron Wise was, I called him a sleepy favorite, and it wasn't so sleepy. He'd won the Pacific Coast Amateur here. It was his home golf course. You knew he was going to come out firing. He did that today. He tried to give it away coming down the stretch, Buddy, with some really difficult holes and some really bad shots, but in the end, he was able to hang on and make some really clutch putts coming down the stretch.
Yeah, he made a couple double bogeys on the back nine. You don't often see a guy win when he does that, but he righted the ship every time. He made a great shot on 14, which was the most dangerous shot of the day, and then he came right back with an unbelievably great birdie at 17 after the double bogey at 16. So he deserved it. It was great for the hometown fans, and great win for him.
All right, so let's get some business out of the way. Aaron Wise is your national champion on the individual side. He will be up here on set. Also, the team competition highlights are coming. But let's get directly to the highlights. Wise, 8th hole, his second shot.
Yeah, the drivable 8th hole here. Drives it into that left bunker. Good spot to leave him there. Puts it up there about 4 feet, and he would make that for birdie.
And it's a 4-shot lead. Wise now at 12.
Well, 12 was one of the double bogeys. Hit it in the left bunker, and then he blasted a little thin across the green, tough chip, and had this for a bogey. It lips out.
So it's a double bogey, and what was 6 under par quickly goes to 4 and brings many players back into the mix, including this guy, Matthias Schwab from
Vanderbilt. And I talked to Brant Snedeker about this kid yesterday. He said he's an absolute stud, and he showed it today and showed some class with this shot. One of the toughest pins on the golf course today, number 11. No green to work with. And it's going to get better, folks. Just wait. These greens were so slick, you needed ice skates today to get around on them.
And this keeps funneling back to the hole. He would make birdie there to get to 4 under, just 2 back of Aaron Wise to 16. It's Wise again, the par 3. What happens here?
Well, he came out of this shot, and this probably was his worst swing of the week. It not only was short, but it was well to the right, and you just can't do that at 16. He failed to get up and down and made a double bogey, and really put the tournament in jeopardy.
His second double bogey in 4 holes. The question would be, would the wheels come up or not?
Boy, I'll tell you, after a decent drive there, this second shot trying to cut the legs out of it and put some cut spin on it to get it to land soft. Gets it to land soft on extremely firm greens downwind, and this will gather back, which will leave him a putt. And Ryan, Buddy, probably the biggest putt of his life.
In every category that Jordan Spieth leads in, bounce-back birdies is the one he is most proud of, and Aaron Wise does just that. A double bogey, he bounces back with a ginormous birdie at 17, and you can tell by the emotion, he thinks it might be enough, but here we go to 18.
Drove it in the right rough. He's got to elevate this ball quickly. There's probably no place on this golf course he's never been before. He had it figured out. He had a terrific shot. Just put himself in a perfect position to make a par and win the golf tournament.
After lagging his birdie putts, got a short one here to post 5 under, get in the clubhouse, and tell the rest of the field, come get me on my home turf. Aaron Wise, the sophomore, posted 5. And you could tell by that emotion once again, you had to feel he liked his chances. Meanwhile, playing behind him, plenty of opportunities. This is Schwab at 14. Are you serious?
And Aaron Wise's home turf, Brian, was absolutely causing havoc all day. At 14, 16, you think that's going to stop? Yes, that just went in the water, and he hit a pretty decent bunker shot from there. That would lead to a double bogey for Matthias Schwab and take him out of it.
A double bogey for Schwab. Meanwhile, Liam McCoy, who trails by 2, pulls the short putt for par. He gives up a stroke to bogey and drops to 2 under. Wise looking better and better by the minute. Rico Hoey has a chance here for USC.
Yeah, Rico's probably the last guy that's got a chance. He needs a birdie finish. Hits a second shot out of the rough here into the back bunker at 17. So that's a tough place to make a birdie from.
He would get up and down for par to stay at 3 under, 2 back. With 1 to play, Hoey at 18, well, hole out.
He needs it here, Ryan, and I can think of an easier hole and an easier spot for which you have to make 2 from, and that's a great effort, but not going to be enough.
And that would mean Aaron Wise, who makes 2 double bogeys on his back 9, becomes the 3rd Pac-12 player in the last 4 years to win the individual NCAA champion. Aaron Wise from Oregon, the California kid who quit golf in middle school, tried other sports, came back to the game, and now he sits atop the college world as a national champion. Aaron Wise at 5 under, it is good enough to win it all. He spoke with our Ryan Lavner.
Thanks, Ryan. Aaron, still dripping wet from that Gatorade bath. What's it mean to win this NCAA championship?
Oh, it's absolutely incredible, to have my teammates and family and friends out there watching me win. And, they supported me all day long and felt like I had the whole city of Eugene out there rooting me on. So it's absolutely incredible.
2 double bogeys on your back 9. How are you able to keep your composure and still win the individual title?
Yeah, that's something, I've worked on since I was a little kid, just kind of, not compounding mistakes. And the double on 12 was just kind of a bad tee shot and gotten some bad spots, and then it was just a terrible shot on the par 3 to hit it in the water. I mean, you can't leave one out right there, and I did, but I was able to kind of get over it. And then obviously after I smoked the tee ball down 17, what the crowd did there, yelling and cheering and firing me up, it was awesome. I couldn't do anything but laugh, and, it really raised my spirits.
Final college event, what does it mean not just to win on your home golf course, but also to help propel your team now into match play?
Yeah, there was a ton of pressure on me today, and I felt it. I'm not going to lie about it, but I was able to kind of go through, my mental routine. And Casey was good enough to bring in Dr. Jay Brunza at the beginning of the year to work on all the mental side of it. And, it really paid off for me. I was able to kind of go through my, my mental tapes and stuff this morning, and I was able to calm down and come out here and execute. And it was incredible. I'm more excited about the team making match play and, giving that one a shot tomorrow.
How do you think your team will fare in the match play format?
The great thing about match play is you never know. Any team can win, and obviously the 8 teams that made it, I don't know what the other 7 are, but everyone's got a chance, and that's all you can ask for.
All right, congratulations, Aaron. It's a long week for him, but it's getting even longer for the Oregon Ducks. Ryan, let's go back to you.
All right, first player since 1979 to win the NCAA individual title on his home course. Gary Hallberg of Wake Forest was the previous 4th player since 1950 to accomplish that feat. So you started the show, Aaron, by talking about Aaron Wise as a sleepy favorite coming in. But when you really look at the last 6 months, especially you throw in the home golf course and the fact that he plays here at Eugene Country Club 3 times a week and his game, maybe he should have been the favorite.
Well, I think he should have been, and he might be the quietest number 6 ranked player in the world of golf as far as the world amateur rankings are concerned. For sure, the guy's a stud, there's no doubt. And I've been hearing about him and watching him now for the last 3 or 4 months since I knew I was going to be up here on this desk, and I was taken aback by how well he manages his game, especially around this golf course. This golf course was U.S. Amateur, U.S. Open style, but one of the things that I want to show you is what happened to him on 16 and then what he did on 17. On 16, as Buddy alluded to, this is probably not even one of the worst swings of the day or the week. This might have been one of the worst swings on this golf course in his life. I guarantee you he's never missed that hole by that much in a practice round playing out here at all. But he was able to regroup, and he gets the 17th hole, Ryan.
And we talk about bounce back, the ability to gather yourself and bounce back.
And this is exactly what he's able to do off the tee here on 17 with this drive, just a gigantic drive. One of the hardest holes on the golf course this week. fantastic tee shot, gathered himself. It did go through the rough, but it left him. He hit it about 350 yards down there, left himself a decent lie in the rough, and from there he was able to hit a good shot and then make a great putt. This is all the stuff that he talked about with his mental preparation this morning, being able to gather himself, being able to seize the moment and get that bounce back. And hats off to the young man. As a sophomore, to win the national championship is something special.
So, buddy, the next step, he will become a professional, forgo his last 2 years, which is becoming more and more common in all sports, to be honest, to chase the money and go after it. We've seen Bryson DeChambeau, who's in the midst of trying to, through exemptions, get his card. He's been struggling as of late, missing 4 straight cuts. But right time for Aaron Wise, coming off the national title, to take advantage of all the perks that might give him to try it as a professional?
Well, I mean, you never know what's going on behind the scenes, but certainly this is the moment for him. And today might have been worth a lot of money. He's going to have agents that are going to be looking into him. He's going to have manufacturing companies that are going to be looking into him. And, he is kind of a quiet guy. He's out here on the West Coast. I didn't know a whole lot about him until the last couple months. But when you rank 6th in the country, you got to be pretty good. And let me tell you something, hats off to him. It's tough to win at home. There is a lot of pressure going on there. And as we said earlier, he responded every time. So I think it's a good time if he feels like he's ready and his family's in agreement. Hey, let's go for it.
Let's see what happens for sure. So a monster day for Aaron Wise as the individual champion. You saw in his interview with Ryan that he gave a lot of his credit to his head coach, Casey Martin, who at the beginning of the year brought in some psychological people to help the players get through things. And Ryan had a chance to catch up with Coach Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. And, Coach, you said that if Aaron Wise got to this point, he'd be the favorite for the NCAA championship. What impressed you with his performance this week?
Just handling the pressure. I mean, he's 19 years old and he's had big galleries out here, and the pressure of trying to win a championship is not easy for anyone, let alone a sophomore or a 19-year-old. But Aaron's very mature in a lot of ways and proved it this week and proved it today. Having a battle, it was really difficult out there. The wind and the green speeds would put anyone to a big test, and he handled it beautifully.
What's he meant to this Oregon program?
Well, he has put this team on his back this year. I mean, he's just done an amazing job, and he is, certainly he's the first ever individual champion in Oregon history. So he's taken it to another level, and it's been just exciting to watch him, and really thankful he chose Oregon.
Week's not over for you yet. What do you think now as your team moves into match play?
It feels like kind of the pressure's off in a way, although we're going to play an amazing team tomorrow, and we're going to have to really play great to hang with them.
Thanks, Coach. Congratulations on Aaron Wise winning the individual championship and the Ducks moving on to match play. Ryan, back to you.
All right, guys, so his 3rd win this season. That is the most in a single season in Oregon program history. It's also his 5th career collegiate win, which is tied for the most in program history. And once again, it will be his last win as Aaron Wise has decided to try his ranks with the professionals coming off of this national championship. Still to come here on Golf Central, live from the NCAA Championships, the all-important bubble. Only 8 teams would be allowed to move on to Tuesday to match play, get the clean slate, and have a chance to play for the national championships. Some would move in, some would move out. The drama next.
Golf Central is brought to you by Titleist, the #1 ball at the Dean and DeLuca Invitational. Titleist, the #1 ball in golf. Comcast Business, built for business.